The morning Julio Martinez walked onto Elena Reyes's farm with a briefcase and an offer that would save her from bankruptcy. 300 pounds of Carolina Reaper peppers sat rotting in her barn because the Salinas Valley Co-op had turned them away at the loading dock. Too hot, they'd said. Liability issue. That was 6 days ago. Today, Julio was offering her $8 a pound for everything she could grow. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Elena had planted the Reapers in January, right after the co-op meeting where she'd asked about expanding the pepper varieties they'd accept for processing. Stick to jalapenos and bells, Martin Voss had said. Martin ran 400 acres and chaired the co-op board. That's what moves. That's what the contracts want. I was thinking about specialty peppers. Super hots. There's a growing market. There's a growing market for a lot of things that aren't our business. He'd smiled, patronizing. Elena, you've been at this, what, 3 years since your dad passed? Take it slow. Learn the system before you try to reinvent it. The other farmers nodded. Her father had worked with these men for 30 years, had earned their respect through silence and steady production. Elena was 29, had a degree in agricultural science, and apparently that meant nothing without gray hair and a penis. She planted the Reapers anyway. 2 acres of them, Carolina Reapers, ghost peppers, Trinidad scorpions. Seeds ordered from a specialist breeder, research done through university extensions and grower forums. She knew the risks. Super hot peppers were finicky, required precise calcium levels, consistent watering. The market was niche but premium. Food manufacturing, specialty sauce companies, even pharmaceutical extraction. Her mother called it foolish. Mija, your father always said work with the co-op, not against them. I'm not working against them. I'm diversifying. You're being stubborn. Maybe. But Elena had run the numbers. The farm was barely breaking even on commodity peppers. The margins were thin, the competition brutal. 3 years of trying to make her father's operation work in an economy that had changed since his time, and she was drowning in equipment debt and property taxes. The Reapers grew beautiful. She walked them every morning, checking moisture levels, monitoring for pests. The peppers came in small, wrinkled, innocent-looking, bright red. Each one packed over 2 million Scoville units, hot enough to blister skin on contact, hot enough that she harvested wearing nitrile gloves and a respirator. At the feed store, Ramon Ochoa raised his eyebrows when she bought the protective gear. What are you growing? Chemical weapons. Peppers. Must be some peppers. They are. Word spread. At the co-op loading dock, where she delivered her jalapeno harvest in June, the guys ribbed her. Heard you're growing fire now, once said. Gonna pepper spray the whole valley. Just trying something new. New doesn't pay the bills, sweetheart. Consistent does. She bit back the response. Don't argue. Just proceed. The Reaper harvest came in August. 300 pounds the first week, with another 500 pounds ripening. Elena packed them carefully, contacted the co-op processor about a specialty delivery. What kind of peppers? The coordinator asked. Carolina Reapers. Super hot variety. I have documentation on the Scoville rating, handling requirements. We don't process anything above habanero heat level. Insurance won't cover it. I can sign a waiver. I'll handle the harvest with proper safety protocol. Ma'am, it's not about you. Our workers aren't equipped for that. The answer's no. Elena tried 3 other regional processors. Same answer. Too hot. Too specialized. Too much liability. The peppers sat in her climate-controlled barn, perfect and useless, while she scrambled to find a buyer. She posted on specialty food forums. Contacted hot sauce makers in Texas and Louisiana. Got interest, but no commitments. Small batch producers who'd take 5 pounds here, 10 pounds there. Nothing that would move her inventory. Martin Voss saw her at the bank, where Elena was meeting with the loan officer about extending her operating line. How's that specialty crop working out, he asked. Not mean exactly. Just satisfied. Still marketing it. See, this is why we stick to what works. The co-op system exists for a reason. Protection. Guaranteed buyers. The co-op rejected my peppers without even testing the market. Because we know the market. That's our job. The loan officer wouldn't extend her credit. With the existing debt ratio and no guaranteed crop contracts, we're at our limit. Elena drove home with her hands tied on the wheel, her jaw aching from clenching. In the barn, the Reapers waited, perfect and worthless. Her mother's words echoed. Stubborn. Foolish. Too proud to listen. Maybe they were all right. That night, she posted a last-ditch offer on a specialty foods forum. 300 pounds Carolina Reapers, 500 pounds Penning Harvest. Premium quality. Make an offer. The response came at 2 a.m. from an account called JM Sauce Works. Interested. Will visit in person to inspect. Can arrive Tuesday if location works. Elena stared at the message, afraid to hope. Tuesday was 3 days away. Julio Martinez arrived in a Tesla that looked out of place on the dirt drive, wearing jeans and a Guayabera shirt that probably cost more than Elena's monthly grocery budget. He was maybe 40, with silver threading through his dark hair and the easy confidence of someone who'd earned his money rather than inherited it. Ms. Reyes. He extended his hand. Julio Martinez. Thanks for seeing me. Call me Elena. You want to see the peppers? Please. She led him to the barn, unlocked the climate-controlled storage room. The smell hit immediately, pungent, sharp, with an almost fruity undertone. The reapers sat in ventilated crates, brilliant red, their wrinkled skin distinctive. Julio pulled on gloves from his briefcase, not the cheap nitrile kind from the hardware store, but thick professional-grade ones. He lifted a pepper, examined it, brought it close to his face, and inhaled carefully. Beautiful, he said. May I? May you what? He pulled out a small knife, cut a sliver from the pepper, and tasted it. Elena watched his face go red, watched him control his breathing, watched him nod and swallow deliberately. His eyes watered, but his expression stayed analytical. Holy hell, he said, coughing once. That's perfect. You okay? I'm excellent. These are exactly what I need. He pulled out his phone, tapped notes. How many pounds did you say? 300 ready, 500 more coming in over the next 3 weeks. I'll take everything. Now, in future harvest. Elena's heart kicked. What's your offer? $8 per pound, delivered to my facility in Oakland. I'll contract for ongoing supply if you can maintain quality and scale up production. She did the math. The 300 pounds alone would bring $2,400, enough to make her equipment payment and buy time. The full harvest at that price would clear her debt and give her operating capital for next season. That's significantly above market, she said carefully. For commodity peppers, yes. But these aren't commodity. I run JM Hot Sauce Company. We make small batch, ultra-premium products. My flagship sauce uses Reapers as the base. I've been sourcing from 3 different growers, one in Florida, one in New Mexico, one in South Carolina. Quality's inconsistent, shipping's expensive, and I need a reliable West Coast supplier. Why didn't you just grow your own? He smiled. I'm a food scientist and a businessman. I'm not a farmer. I tried growing peppers once. Killed everything. Some people have the gift, he gestured at her barn. And some people should stick to what they're good at. Elena felt something unnod in her chest. When do you need the first delivery? Tomorrow? Day after? Whenever you can get them to Oakland. I'll send you the facility address. They shook hands. After he left, Elena sat on her porch step, staring at the pepper fields, letting herself feel the relief. Her mother came out, wiping her hands on her apron. Who was that? A buyer. For the reapers. Really? How much? When Elena told her, her mother sat down heavily on the step beside her. Dios mío. Yeah. Are you going to tell Martin? Why would I? Because he needs to know the co-op was wrong. Elena thought about it. The satisfaction would be sweet. Walking into the co-op office, showing them the contract, proving that her foolish decision had been right. But there was something tired in her at the thought of fighting for recognition from men who'd already decided she didn't deserve it. Maybe later, she said. She delivered the 300 pounds herself, driving the refrigerated truck her father had bought when she was in high school. The JM Hot Sauce facility was small but immaculate. Commercial kitchen, bottling line, storage. Julio walked her through, showed her the process. This is the ghost pepper sauce, he said, holding up a bottle. $12 retail. This is the Reaper sauce, $18. We sell direct online and through specialty stores. Can't keep it in stock. How much do you go through annually? Right now? About 4,000 pounds of mixed super hots. With a reliable supplier and quality like yours, I could double production. Maybe triple. Elena did that math too. At scale, this could be more profitable than her entire conventional pepper operation. The first payment cleared 2 days later. Elena made her equipment payment with room to spare, bought her mother a new refrigerator, and took herself out for a beer at the local bar. Ramon from the feed store was there. Elena, Heard you found a buyer for those crazy peppers. I did. Good for you. Seriously. A lot of people thought you were nuts, but you made it work. Thanks, Ramon. Martin Voss came in 20 minutes later, saw her, and his face did something complicated. He walked over, beer in hand. Elena, can I sit? She shrugged. Free country. He sat, looked at his beer. I heard about your sale. The hot sauce company. News travels. I also heard what they paid. Per pound. She waited. That's good money. Really good. It is. He took a drink. I was wrong. About the specialty peppers. About you needing to learn the system. Yes, you were. He flinched. Fair enough. Look, the co-op board is meeting next week. I'd like you to present. About alternative crops, specialty markets. Maybe there's room for us to expand our thinking. Elena studied him. Saw genuine humility under the discomfort. I'll think about it. That's all I'm asking. After he left, she finished her beer slowly, feeling the weight of vindication settle into something quieter than triumph. Her phone buzzed. Julio, second harvest ready for pickup? We're already getting orders we can't fill. Elena smiled and typed back, ready tomorrow. And we need to talk about expanding the acreage. The co-op meeting happened on a Thursday in October, when the valley was bronze with harvest and the air smelled like earth and diesel fuel. Elena brought samples, her peppers, Julio's finished sauces, financial projections for specialty crop integration. The conference room was full. Martin had apparently talked up her presentation, and farmers from across the region had shown up. She recognized faces, men who'd dismissed her, women who'd watched silently, younger farmers hungry for alternatives to commodity crop margins. Thanks for coming, she started. I'm going to talk about specialty peppers, market differentiation, and why sometimes the co-op model needs to adapt to survive, not just sustain. She walked them through it. The research, the cultivation challenges, the market analysis. She showed them Julio's production numbers, the retail prices, the growing demand for artisanal hot sauces. She passed around the bottles, her peppers, transformed into premium products. This sauce retails for $18, she said. The peppers I grew for it would have sold through the co-op for maybe 50 cents a pound as generic hot peppers. Instead, I'm getting $8 a pound. That's not luck. That's understanding that agriculture isn't just about growing food. It's about growing the right food for the right market. An older farmer raised his hand. What about the risk? You could have lost everything. I almost did, Elena said honestly. I was 6 days from having 300 pounds of rotting peppers when Julio showed up. But the risk of doing nothing, continuing to compete in commodity markets with razor-thin margins, that's a slower death. At least this way I was trying. Questions came fast. About pest management, about finding buyers, about whether the co-op could negotiate contracts with specialty processors. Elena answered everything, shared her contacts, offered to help anyone who wanted to try. After the meeting, a line formed, farmers wanting more information, wanting to visit her operation, wanting to understand how to pivot from commodity to specialty. She gave out her number, set up farm visits, felt the strange sensation of becoming a resource instead of an outsider. Martin approached last. That was good. Really good. I'm sorry it took me so long to see it. You weren't wrong about everything, Elena said. The co-op system does protect people. It provides stability. But it can't be so rigid it prevents adaptation. So what do? Form a specialty crop committee. Let farmers experiment with guidance instead of just blocking them. Connect with niche processors. The co-op doesn't have to process everything. It can just facilitate connections. He nodded slowly. Would you chair that committee? Elena thought about her father, about his 30 years of quiet work in a system that rewarded conformity, about her mother's fear of change, rooted in the very real dangers of failing, about her own 3 years of struggling to honor the past while building a future. Yeah, she said. I'll chair it. 6 months later, Elena walked her pepper fields in the early March morning, checking the new plantings. She'd expanded to 5 acres of super hots, reapers, ghosts, scorpions, and a new variety she was testing for Julio. For other farmers in the co-op had started specialty pepper programs with her guidance. The co-op had negotiated a group contract with 2 more hot sauce manufacturers. Her mother brought coffee out to the field, picking her way between the rows in her practical boots. Mija, that reporter from the AG magazine, is coming at 10. I know. You're going to do the interview in work clothes? I'm a farmer, Mama. These are my clothes. Her mother smiled, that particular expression that meant pride mixed with exasperation. Your father would be proud, even if he'd never have done it this way himself. Maybe that's the point. Every generation has to find their own way. Julio's truck rolled up the drive. He'd started visiting once a month, talking about expansion, about new product lines, about the possibility of Elena growing other specialty crops, unusual chilies, specialty tomatoes, herbs. The farm was becoming something neither she nor her father had imagined. Not just a production facility, but a research and development partner. Got something to show you. Julio called, climbing out with a box. He opened it to reveal new label designs. The premium line. Look at the back. Elena read. Peppers grown exclusively by Reyes Family Farm, Salinas Valley, California. We're marketing the farm now, Julio said. Terroir, quality, sustainable practices. The story matters as much as the product. Your story. I just grow peppers. You grow exceptional peppers through knowledge and persistence. That's worth celebrating. The reporter arrived, asked smart questions, took photos of Elena in her fields with the peppers bright behind her. The article would run next month, part of a series on innovative farming practices in California. That evening, Elena sat on the porch with her mother, watching the sunset paint the fields gold. The reapers were flowering, small white blooms that would become the fire-hot fruit that had saved her farm and changed her trajectory. Are you happy? Her mother asked. Elena considered it. The work was still hard, the hours still long, the risks still present. But the farm was profitable, growing, building something beyond survival. She had respect now, earned, not granted, had proved that intuition backed by research could outperform tradition backed by stubbornness. Yeah, Mama. I'm happy. Her phone buzzed. Martin. Committee meeting Tuesday. 3 more farmers want to present specialty crop ideas. This is working. Elena typed back. Good. See you then. The peppers grew in their neat rows, too hot for the co-op to handle, too valuable for the market to ignore. Elena Reyes had planted them anyway, had persisted when everyone said she was wrong, had turned rejection into opportunity. Now she sat on her porch in the California evening, her calloused hands wrapped around coffee, her weathered face satisfied, her farm thriving with the crops she'd chosen. The vindication wasn't in being right. It was in the soil, the harvest, the success that needed no explanation. The reapers would be ready in 4 months. Julio already had orders waiting, and Elena, as always, would be there at dawn, tending what she'd planted, proving nothing to anyone but herself.